September comes, the potato patch goes brown and dies back, and that's it. Whatever came out of the ground back in July is what you're eating until next spring. Most backyards only get one shot at potatoes a year, and everybody just accepts that like it's a law of nature. It isn't. This video is about turning one potato harvest into 4 or 5, using nothing but plastic buckets started a few weeks apart and moved around your yard as the weather shifts. No extra square footage, no greenhouse, and less work than keeping up with one garden bed all summer. Here's what stops most people before they even try. The idea of staggering buckets and carrying them around sounds like a project, something for a person with more free time on their hands. It's the opposite. It's less watering, less bending, and less to manage than a single row in the ground, not more. There's one small move in all of this, something that takes about 10 minutes, twice a season, and it's the entire difference between digging potatoes in October or being done for the year back in July. Most people who try potatoes in a bucket do the same thing I did the first time. One bucket planted the same week as everybody else's garden, tucked against the house where it seemed convenient. It felt like the cautious way to start, small before committing to more. That one bucket did exactly what a garden bed does. It gave a few weeks of potatoes in early summer and then sat there empty the rest of the year, the same as buying 1 week of groceries and expecting it to stretch through the month. Nothing about the bucket failed. It just copied the one limitation every backyard already has, the one where the calendar decides when you eat and when you don't. A bucket only pays off once you stop treating it like a smaller garden bed. A bucket is a garden you can pick up, restart, and stretch across the calendar instead of cramming into one window. Planting fewer buckets more often and staying willing to move them when the weather calls for it is what turns a handful of potatoes into a season's worth. That's the whole idea this video is built on, and everything from here is just the mechanics of doing it right. That matters most if you're working with a patio, a small yard, or a rail on a porch, because none of what follows requires more space. It requires timing and feeding, plus the willingness to move the bucket when the season asks for it. All of that costs next to nothing. 5 pieces make this work, and none of them are complicated by themselves. Get the bucket set up right, including one decision most people get backwards. Get the timing right so you're in the ground, weeks before the calendar tells you it's safe. Feed and water it the way a heavy feeder actually needs, not the way it feels responsible to. Don't plant everything on the same day and pick the right variety when you don't. And move the bucket when the season asks for it. Skip any one of these and you're back to one harvest in June. Get all 5 right and you're pulling potatoes out of containers well into fall. Start with drainage because this is where most container failures happen quietly underground, long before you'd ever notice. Drill several holes in the bottom and a few more low along the sides. A potato sitting in soil that can't drain will rot down there in the dark, and the first sign you'll get is an empty, mushy mess when you dump the bucket out in the fall. The soil needs to be light, not the dense stuff dug straight from your yard. Heavy soil packs down like a brick inside a container, and a potato has to push and swell against what surrounds it to grow at all. It can't do that against a wall of compacted dirt. Good potting mix, worked through with compost until it crumbles apart loose in your hand instead of holding together in a wet ball, that's the test. If it squeezes into a solid clump, it's too heavy for a bucket. Now, the seed potato itself. If it's larger than a golf ball, cut it into pieces, making sure each piece keeps at least one eye. Let those cut faces sit out in the open air for a day or two before planting. That skin has to dry over, or the exposed cut will rot in damp soil instead of rooting. Most people get one decision backwards here, and it's worth being direct about it because you'll see conflicting advice everywhere on this. Some growers swear by burying the stem gradually as it climbs, a few inches of soil at a time, the same way you'd hill a row in open ground. Others plant near the top of the container, backfill once and never touch it again, and they get just as much out of it. Both of them are right, and the reason has nothing to do with technique. It comes down to what variety you're growing. Some potatoes keep producing new tubers all along a buried stem as it climbs. Others set their crop early and just bulk up from there, no matter how much stem you bury afterward. Bury and refill a variety that's already finished setting its tubers, and you're just adding empty soil for nothing. This is the piece almost nobody tells you, and it's the reason two people can follow the exact same instructions and get completely different results. If you don't know your variety, which is common when you're starting from a sprouting potato out of your own pantry, plant it near the top with soil already filled around it, water it in, and don't worry about hilling further. You'll lose nothing by skipping it, and you'll save yourself the guessing. Now the part that steals the most calendar time without you noticing. Plant 2 to 3 weeks before your last expected frost, not after it. That sounds backwards until you think about what's actually protected down there. A potato buried 6 inches deep takes 3 to 4 weeks before it even breaks the surface. During that stretch, it's sitting well below where a light frost or freeze can reach it, doing its early rooting in the dark while the air above is still cold. By the time it finally pushes through the soil, the worst of the cold snap is usually behind you. That early start earns its keep for a second reason, too. Potatoes are in the nightshade family, the same family as tomatoes and peppers, which makes them a target for the same pests and fungal problems once the weather turns warm and humid. Plant early, and you're harvesting before that pressure ever builds. Wait until it feels comfortably warm, and you're growing your potatoes straight through the exact stretch when insects and disease are worst. One more thing worth knowing before you buy anything. Skip the seed potato display at the garden center in late winter, where a handful of small, often dried-out potatoes can run close to $1 a piece. A $3 to $5 bag of potatoes from the grocery store works just as well once it sprouts. If you need to plant right away, buy organic. Some conventional potatoes are treated with a chemical that delays sprouting, which is great for a store trying to keep them on the shelf longer and useless for you trying to get something in the ground this week. That single decision, planting 2 to 3 weeks earlier than feels comfortable, stretches your first bucket's window without costing you anything extra. But one early bucket still only gets you one early harvest. What carries this through the rest of the year is feeding it properly and then never planting everything at once. Potatoes are heavy feeders. If you're the kind of gardener who likes to set a plant in the ground and leave it alone, this crop will disappoint you in a container because a bucket doesn't have the reserves that open ground does. Mix in an all-purpose organic fertilizer at planting time and add a scoop of bone meal alongside it. Bone meal runs high in phosphorus and calcium, which drives strong root and tuber development, and a container needs that boost more than a garden bed does, because nutrients wash out of a bucket faster every time you water. Top it off again every 2 weeks with more of the same mix so the plant never runs low mid-season. Hold off on mulch until the plant has actually broken the surface and reached about 6 inches tall. Early in the season, mulch reflects sunlight the soil needs to warm up, and it holds moisture longer than a newly planted bucket can handle, which is the fastest way to rot a potato that hasn't rooted yet. Once the plant's established, mulch starts working in your favor, holding moisture steady and keeping weeds down. For watering, push 2 fingers about an inch into the soil. If it's still damp, leave it alone. A bucket dries out faster than the ground, especially in real heat, so check it often but don't drown it out of habit. Watering every day feels responsible. So does checking your phone every 5 minutes. Neither one is actually helping. Don't plant all your buckets on the same day. Start one, then start another 3 to 4 weeks later, and another after that, as long as your season allows it. A bucket planted the same week as 3 others doesn't give you 4 harvest windows. It gives you 1 harvest window, 4 times the size, all landing on your counter in the same 2 weeks, the same as filling a fridge with nothing but the same sale item and having all of it go bad at once. Spread the start dates out instead, and that single pile turns into a string of smaller harvests spread across months. This is also where variety earns its keep. Early varieties come to harvest faster and suit a bucket well because you can turn that container over and start the next one sooner. Late varieties take longer to mature but keep far better in storage through the winter. If you're eating fresh all summer, lean early. If you're putting food by for the colder months, lean late. Running a mix of both is how you end up with something to eat fresh in July and something in the pantry come January. What are you growing in containers this season, and how many are you running at once? This is the piece that closes the gap in the title, the one thing your garden bed can never do for you. You can pick the bucket up and carry it, A late frost threatens after everything's already planted. Carry it into the garage or shed for the night and back out in the morning. Summer heat turns brutal enough to cook the roots inside dark plastic sitting in direct sun. Slide it into afternoon shade for a few hours and slide it back when the sun softens. Neither move takes more than a few minutes, and neither requires a single tool. It's just deciding to do it. I'll be straight about the trade-off because a system built on containers isn't free of downsides. Losing a crop to a hot week away from home with nobody watering is the honest cost of a container where a garden row would have carried on without you. You'll also want fresh soil each season rather than reusing the same dirt year after year, since a small closed volume of soil wears out and can carry disease forward. Against that, a bucket sits up off the ground where most crawling pests never bother to look, and if blight ever moves through a garden bed nearby, you can simply carry your bucket somewhere else, which nobody with potatoes in open ground can do. A bucket will never outproduce open ground, pound for pound. What it does instead is go where the season needs it to go, something open ground can never do. Combine that with staggered starts and the right variety in each one, and you're not managing a single harvest anymore. You're running a rotation that starts in spring and doesn't quit until the first hard frost actually means it. When the tops finally yellow and die back, that bucket is done, and this is the best part of the whole process. You don't dig, you tip. Lay a tarp down, turn the container over, and let it pour out. What comes tumbling free is clean, whole, and none of it speared through by a shovel the way it happens in open ground, and none of it left behind hiding in the dirt where it'll re-sprout on you next year. If you've got grandkids or neighbor kids around, let them do the tipping. There's no lesson in any book that teaches a kid where food comes from quite like watching potatoes roll out at their feet. If this is the kind of thing that's useful to you, that's what this channel is for, so consider subscribing. Everything you need to start growing at home, no matter how much space you've got, is on the site. Links in the description. There's a full guide to get you started, a free calculator to figure out exactly how much space you have and what you can actually plant in it, and some tool recommendations to go with it. I'm also running a whole series on this channel about growing in containers at home, so if this is your kind of thing, there's more waiting for you right here. I'd start that first bucket 2 weeks earlier than feels comfortable, and start a second one a few weeks behind it. That one decision is what turns one potato harvest into 5.